I was talking with a friend yesterday and I told her that I'm not going to read on Miss Nancy. I didn't say anymore, but I say for a while, because I was really upset with the puff piece that KBOA or KVOA did. It was just a bunch of lies in that, what they call it, package that they put together. Because whatever vigil they had for her at that church, they didn't tell the public. It was just at that church, and I really feel like there was no vigil. I think they just had their regular mass, and they may have mentioned her in the prayers of the people, right? If you're Catholic or Anglican, you know what that is. And then they talked about when Savannah, Annie, and Tommaso went to the house, they went to talk to the neighbors to thank them for all their care and love and prayers, and that wasn't true. They just looked at the flowers. Annie put down a card, they put down some sunflowers, and they bounced. They were there literally 3 minutes, and that's after they let the sheriff clear everybody out of there. All the streamers, even the people from like Fox Digital and Newsmax, they weren't there for like 3 days, and they went back that day at that time. So they got a call. They only want to work with real journalists. They don't want to work with the streamers, and of course they bashed the streamers and said that they caused a lot of chaos, which they did not. They were the ones cleaning up the mess that was over there when people would leave mess, right? So I'm like, I'm done. I'm not gonna read on this lady anymore. The family doesn't care anyways. They know exactly what happened to her. They know who did it. And wow, we stressing ourselves out, right? So I did my little rant and rave, and the streamers are the one keeping this lady name out there. And for some reason, they don't want her name out there. For some reason, they don't want you searching for her. So I know that the family knows something, and I already have I was like looking at all kind of people to do this. This one, that one, the new girl that they said stayed with her. And then I just quit. And I went inside. Well, I taped other shows for my cooking show on my other channel, but I didn't tape any reading. So then I went to go register the puppy, Evie. And when I got there to City Hall, there were only 2 people working. One was doing business license, which I already did online. And the other one was doing, I don't know what. She was just kind of, not doing anything. So then to the right-hand side of her window, when she finally called us up, and she was the sweetest lady, by the way, so I'm glad I didn't become impatient. I saw this thing that says, let your faith be bigger than your fear. I'm going to show it here on the phone, but I'll send it from the phone to the computer so I could drop it in. And then there was a little flower pot that was crocheted flowers and crocheted vase, and it says, never forget the difference you make, right? And then I looked down below, and I saw, where is it at? I saw this. It says Nancy. And so I looked at the lady and I said, is your name Nancy? And she said, no. And I said, well, who's Nancy? Why is this over here? And then she said, oh, that's my coworker, but she's not in today. And then you look like way behind where she sits, and you see like flowers and pictures and flowers and stuff, pictures of her kids or grandkids, and the name Nancy again. And Joe says, God trying to tell you something, boo. God trying to tell you something. So I said, okay, I'll go back and I'll read on Miss Nancy. The question that I want to ask is, I heard that there was a young woman living with Miss Nancy as her caregiver a couple of years ago, and Miss Nancy supposedly fired her, and she was of Middle Eastern descent. They're saying Iranian, which that's Persian, right? And her name starts with an A, and even if I knew it, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to call these people out, because JLR put up there that the list of people that the authorities were asking. I already split it. The authorities were asking, you saw what I did when I split, right? I just pulled from the middle and put it on the top. Yeah, the authorities were asking, did those people come to the gun shop, some gun stores or whatever? Well, pew store. So I'm going to pull 5 cards, because at the end I want to pull a whole Celtic cross on something else that I decided I wanted to read about. So 5 cards. I'm going to ask if that woman had anything to do with it. The Middle Eastern woman with the last name A. So strength, don't know. That doesn't tell me anything yet. Courage, patience, inner strength. Charismatic, passionate, confident. I always feel like that's Savannah, but that could have been the woman, My sister-in-law works for a Persian woman, so I know some of their personalities. Awakening, reckoning, rebirth, judgment. If she did it, she gonna get it. She gonna get it. They gonna find her. Ace of Swords, new ideas, success, new beginnings. Usually the ace means yes, so I'm leaning towards yes. And then the star, hope, healing, guidance, inspiration. So does that mean that it's gonna come out? And then the sun. If she did it, it's gonna come out. Instinctively, I don't feel like she's involved. And I'm tired of People saying, oh, it's Mexican descent, oh, it's Latino, oh, it's Persian, oh, it's Iranian, oh, it's... I don't know. Shut up, Barbara. I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to pull 3 cards plus the under, what's hidden underneath it all. And I'm going to ask if it's somebody... Well, she was close. That's not the right question to ask, right? She was close to her if she lived with her for 2 years. Or I'm going to ask, is it somebody close to Miss Nancy that did this? I don't know that we're going to get the correct answer. Let's split it. Because she would have been close to her, right? 1, 2, 3. And what's hidden underneath it all? 3 of Wands, progress, expansion, looking ahead. They said the lady and her husband had, not trademarks, patents to stuff that can, some kind of scientific stuff that can get rid of DNA. They sure did get rid of a lot of DNA, huh? Knight of Swords, ambitious sister, maybe that's the lady husband. And the High Priestess, intuition, mystery, inner wisdom, secrets. And then hidden underneath it all is the Emperor. Girl, I'm going to say instinctively, I'm going to say no. They had nothing to do with this, but I feel like the cards are saying yes. I'm conflicting with the cards. Huh. Okay, we're going to end this one here and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've ended the show and I'm going to come back with my gush. I don't want to put this as a separate video. And I'm going to ask the cards. There's a guy that was reaching out to me and I didn't know what he was offering, but it's something to do with books. Because you know I authored like 6 or 7 books. And I told him to write me an email to tell me what he was trying to tell me, because it wasn't making sense. And if it's not making sense, sometimes there's a trick in there somewhere, right? So he wrote me the email and I still didn't understand what the heck that man wanted with me. So I dropped it into Chat GPT and I asked Chat GPT, what does he want? What is he offering and what does he expect for me to do? And it was kind of exactly like what the guy was offering when he wanted to put my powder bun dry mix in the stores. And I read on him, but I didn't do that publicly. And so I wrote the guy back already and told him I wasn't interested. But I wanted to read to see what it was really about. Was he just really trying to offer something that he thought he could do? Or was he trying to scam me? Right? So we're going to pull a full Celtic cross. I want to go quickly because I'm hungry. I got to go eat my dinner. How's your day going? Today's my mom's birthday in heaven. And I really wanted to put out a video on her birthday. So Holy Ghost, tell me what this guy wanted with me. Like, it seemed like he wanted to be my literary, did I say the word correct? Agent. But he didn't say that he worked for a specific company. He didn't work for Simon Schuster or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I think it was gonna fly. Calm down, breeze. Calm down, calm down. I don't have no stones over here. So the star is underneath it. I already saw it. I'm not gonna lie. Let me cover it with this box. Put the phone here. Put my glasses here. And let's move quickly, guys. The signifier is the Page of Swords, inquisitive, curious, messenger, observance. He brought a message. He was very inquisitive. He dug up into my background. He saw that I didn't buy subscribers. He's like, oh, I noticed that you've really worked at this hard and you didn't buy any subscribers. Rest, recover, reflection, retreat, the Four of Swords. This is in the original Four of Swords. The guy laying on the thing with the swords above him. The guy is unalive in the thing. So, but I have all these knives. Knives out. Knives out, dude. What did you want? The foundation was balance, moderation, harmony, patience. I would have had to be patient with whatever he was trying to do for me, because he didn't promise he was going to get my books into anywhere like Simon Schuster and places like that. And according to what I read, it seemed like he wanted me to just keep building out my platforms, and then he would, like, I would have to work with him in exclusivity when he's not really promising anything per se. You know, he doesn't work for one of these big literary agency. In the past was the Two of Wands, planning, decision, discovery, crossroad. I had to make a decision and I did. And then above it all, the what do you call it? Overarching energy is the moon, illusion, intuition, mystery, premonition. That's some kind of secret too. And then in the future is tradition, wisdom, belief, religion. This is the system. He would have locked me into the system. I thought I saw 222, but it was 422. And then internally was the world, completion, fulfillment, travel. Maybe it would have worked, guys. 8 of Swords, trapped, I would have been trapped. And I would have caused it to myself, because of the fact that I was going to have to work with him exclusively. Justice, fairness, consequences, balance. But in the hopes and fears, he might have been fair. The Page of Cups is a playful, imaginative, curious dreamer. It looks like he wanted me to like redo some of my books. I don't want to do another book, let alone redo a book. And then you saw the star on the bottom. So I don't think he was going to rip me off, but I think it might have been a frustrating thing to work with him, because he would have been pushing me hard to overwork myself, and I just want to do this. All I want to do is read my cards and build this channel out. I don't want anything to distract me from this channel. You know what I mean? And I think he would have distracted me, trying to push me hard to redo one of my books or to even write a new book. And then he would have tried to go there to sell it to somebody that maybe he didn't have the power to sell it to, right? Maybe he didn't even have the connections. And then he would have been you need to put out more shorts. He was already telling me stuff like that. You need to put out more shorts. I don't like putting out shorts. Put out shorts when I feel like it. Yeah, I don't think he would have ripped me off, but I think I would have been unhappy because I want the freedom to just do this. Read cards.